All right, welcome to Math Unit 7 test review. This chapter was all about collecting, displaying, and analyzing data. So number 1 says Sally wants to create a display to show the percent of her allowance she spends on food, clothing, and movies. Which type of graph best represents the data? And remember, my keyword here, you're reading the sentence looking for the keyword, and my keyword is percent. And when we're talking about percents, we are talking about a circle graph. So the answer to number 1 is B. Number 2, which set of data is best represented by a bar graph? Okay, the percent of household that had multiple computers from 95 to 2005. Okay, that's percent, so it's not that. Let's look at D. The change in temperature over the past months. That is a line graph, so it's not D. C, the test scores for all students in the last test in Mrs. Wright's math class. Okay, this would be a stem and leaf plot, would be the best for C. And that leaves B, the number of minutes that Jenny exercised from Monday through Friday. Okay, I could have a graph, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the number of minutes, 0 to 60. Okay, and I could make my bar graph. Okay, so the answer to 2 is also B. Next one. Ms. Smith records the amount of time each of her students spends silently reading each week. Make a line plot of the data. So I'm going to look at my number of hours and notice the range is from 0 to 5. So down here, I need to equally space as best as you can 0 through 5. And that's only 4. Aw, man. Redo. Okay, so it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I go through, look for all the zeros. I see 1, so I'm going to plot 1x. Then I look for the 1s. I have 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. The 2s, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3s, I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 4, and 2, 5. So that is a line plot. Remember the line plot? You need to make your line and you use x's to plot the data. Number 4, find the mean, median, mode, and range of the data set. And I need to round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay, so the first one for the mean, I need to add, use a different color. I need to add each of these up. So 25 plus 32 plus 11 plus 25 plus 21 plus 16 is 130. And I need to divide that by the number of terms to get the mean or the average. And the number of terms is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 130 divided by 6 gives you 21.666 repeating. So your mean is 21 rounded to the nearest tenth, 0.6 repeating. Your median, the key thing you have to remember is to put these numbers in order. So your median is 11, 16, 21, 25, 25, and 32. Okay? And start slashing them off from each side. And left at 21 and 25 in the center. You need to average those two to get the median. To average, you add them and divide by 2. So 21 plus 25 is 46. 46 divided by 2 is 23. So my median is 23. My mode is my most frequent. Okay, you will see that 25 occurs twice. So my mode is 25. Lastly, my range is the biggest minus the smallest. Okay, so 32 minus 11 leaves me with 21. So my range is 21. Moving on to number 5. Okay, the bar graph shows the number of speakers in millions of each language. How many people speak French? Okay, so I'm looking at the bar that speaks French. So I don't care about this, I don't care about this, and I don't care about that one. Okay, and remember it is in millions. Okay, and I notice that I have little tick marks and they go up by tens, but I could go up by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so each tick mark goes up by 2. And so French, I'm going to say this is about, I'm just going to round up, about 7 million people. Okay, just writing 7 is not correct. You need to look at the label on your vertical axis. Okay, number 6. I did this one in class, but I'll go over it again for those of you who aren't here. I need to list a set of data values that can be represented by the box and whisker plot shown. So basically, I am undoing the box and whisker plot. Okay, and I know in a box and whisker plot, I need the least value, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the greatest. And I find those points because they are dots on my box and whisker. Okay, 4 right here, this is my least. My greatest is 16, my median is 9, which leaves my lower quartile to be 6, and my upper quartile 15. Okay, so now I need to find a set of data that makes all of these true. Okay, so I know my least has to be 4 and my greatest has to be 16, so that has to be included in the data. My median is 9. I also know that has to be included in my data. Okay, the lower quartile is the median of the lower half. I'm going to abbreviate LH. And the upper quartile is the median of the upper half. Okay, so this, the median splits it into 2. So this is my lower half, and this is my upper half. Okay, and I know that the median is going to be the middle of 4 something and something. Okay, so I need 2 more digits, and I know my median of those. My median of my lower quartile has to be 6. My upper quartile has to be 15. So you need to pick a number between 6 and 9. You could put 7, you could put 8, and a number between 9 and 15. Okay, to make that statement true. Because then, so I'm going to do 7 and 12, which would make the median of my upper half 15 and the median of my lower half 6, which are my quartiles. That's a tricky problem, but I like it. Number 7. A 7th grade team, make sure I get the whole graph here. A 7th grade team is collecting items for charity. The table shows the number of items completed at the end of each day. Make a line graph of the table. Okay, so down here, remember there are several things I need for a line graph. I'm going to start with all my labels. Okay, so down here is Monday. Oh no. How do I fix that? Can I move this? Hold on one second. Alright, sorry about that. I had to move it up, so I had a place to write. And now my pen's not working. Come on. Alright, I'm going to start with my labels. So I have Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Make sure those are equally spaced. Okay, and down here it is days of the week. I don't know why it's highlighting it. And then up here I have to start at 152, go all the way up to 576, so I'm just going to go up by 100. So 0, 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, and 600. Make sure they're kind of equally spaced as best as you can. So this is the number of items. Okay, I also need a title. So it could be number of items collected during the week. Okay, now that I have all of that, I am ready to plot my points. Alright, so Monday is 152, so I go to Monday, in between 100 and 200. Tuesday, 210, a little bit above 200. Wednesday, 354. Thursday, 469. And Friday, 576. Remember, with a line graph, you have to make a line connecting the points. Okay, let's move on to number 8. Okay, number 8 says the manager of an amusement park has been tracking the age of people who ride a new ride. Use the graph to estimate the number of middle school students who rode the ride. Okay, tricky part here. The age of middle school students is going to be this category right here. Okay, so the middle schoolers are between 10 and 15. That's tricky. Okay, and we know that the frequency is the amount of riders that are between the age of 10 and 15, and this goes up by 5 each hash mark. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's between 5 and 10. So I'm going to say 7 middle school students. Next one, determine which sampling method below will better represent the entire population. Justify my answer. Okay, so one of these is going to be a random sample. The other is going to be a convenient sample. What is convenient for the researcher or the surveyor? Okay, so my sampling method is Tom surveys 50 shoppers by randomly choosing their names. 60% like the store. The other one is Kim surveys 100 shoppers that entered the store in the first hour, and 80% of them like the store. So Tom's method would best represent the entire population because it's a random sample. Okay, he randomly chooses names. Kim ends up picking the people who entered the store within the first hour, and that's not very fair because they probably really like the store if they're there within the first hour of it opening. Number 10, the athletic store surveys its Monday customers to find out their opinion on new tennis shoes. Determine whether the sample may be biased. Okay, so I'm going to say yes, this is biased, because if you like tennis shoes, you're at an athletic store, okay, you have a greater chance, you're more likely to like athletic shoes if you go to an athletic store, if that makes sense. Okay, so yes, this is biased because you are more likely to like tennis shoes if you're already shopping at a store. You're already shopping at an athletic store. All right, next one. This is the question that I said was a little tricky in class. There will be a question like this. It will be more obvious what the answer is on the test, okay? So it says use the graph to find 2 languages that make up approximately, which is pretty close, to the same portion of the class, on the graph, excuse me. So it was looking for the answer of French and other. You could have said the combination of other and Chinese. Okay, on your test it will be much more clear what the answer is. Number 12, a candy maker wants to know the number of candy in each bag it sold. The results of their research are shown in the box and whisker plot. What is the median? So we have the least, the lower quartile, the greatest, the upper quartile. The median is that dot in the middle, so 9 pieces of candy. Number 13, the bar graph represents the average temperature in a city over the first 4 months of the year. Explain why the graph is misleading. I don't have time to write out the full answer, but you need to say right here, the graph doesn't start at 0. Okay, and explain in full sentences over here why that's misleading and why it appears that the numbers look differently than they are. Oh, is that it? That is the last question. Okay, so say something along the lines of the graph doesn't start at 0, therefore the bars appear to be smaller. And that's why it is misleading. That's the end of the video. Your test is tomorrow. Please email me if you have any questions. Have a good night.